few years ago, I was playing video games with my cousin and some friends. Unfortunately, my cousin was born with a birth defect that only left him with one arm. When it was his turn to play, he had to place the controller on the coffee table. He knew how to play, but unfortunately, he couldn't reach all the buttons to play competitively. So it got me thinking, are there any decent single-hand video game controllers on the market? After doing a little research, I found that there are a few. Unfortunately, they lay all the buttons on a flat plastic pad. You can play, but you can't play at a high competitive level. Could I actually make a single-hand video game controller that anybody could play? Left hand, right hand, universal. It took me a while, but I was able to figure it out. After some trials and tribulations, after sitting down with a mound of clay and a lot of patience, I was able to get a design that I believe is the perfect one. To create the controller, I sat down with some clay and a rough idea of what I wanted the controller to be. I began to mold the clay into a design that would allow a person to be able to use all of the buttons, triggers, analogs, and D-pads from a standard two-hand controller with only one hand. Next was to reproduce the clay model to a plastic likeness. This was done by placing the clay model into a flexible hardening cast mold. After removing the clay mold, the cavity was filled with a clear epoxy resin. When the resin set, the plastic copy was removed from the casting mold and dremeled to refine the rough edges and hollow out the interior of the controller to house all the necessary wiring. The final step, and by far the most challenging, was to solder and extend the wires from the circuit board of a standard controller through the base and up to the buttons, and to finish a completed working prototype. Nhuad single-hand controllers are unlike any standard two-hand controller or any single-hand controller ever made. The patented design remaps the buttons from a standard controller to be played with a single hand. The universal right hand and left hand design of our controller is exceptionally comfortable, and with an ergonomic design suits all hand sizes from kids to adults. The high-performance controller has absolutely no reduction in response time or delay in any way. For any single-hand users or those who wish to multitask while gaming. For those who wish to play PlayStation or Xbox. For those who just started gaming or are lifelong gamers such as myself. Nhuad single-hand controllers intends to change the way video games will be played from now on. Gamers will no longer have to worry about greasy controllers from chips or snacks. Intense games no longer have to be interrupted by trying to text while playing or ruin the flow of a game by pausing the game to wrestle with your phone. This is gaming on an entirely new level. Lastly, and most importantly, I want to thank anybody who helped me make this from a clay model to a working prototype. I want to thank anybody that I politely harassed through emails about the intricacies of the business world, the video game industry, and the legalities of patent. I want to thank anybody that didn't help me. It forced me to learn to do things I needed to do. And lastly, and also most importantly, I want to thank anybody who donated a controller to me that I immediately destroyed. Nhuad single-hand video game controllers, changing the way video gaming is done.